Hello, everybody. Welcome to Volume 3 of our Great Artist series. We have kind of a unusual situation here for several reasons. One, instead of one interviewee, we have four. And also, it's just a happy accident, totally unplanned that they're even here. We've got another interview planned in the studio in just a few minutes, but we were able to find four of the architects of the Beat Generation all together just a couple of blocks from here, and we just couldn't let them go without at least doing a short interview. So without any further ado, let's get started. I'll just introduce everyone first. And to my far right, geographically speaking, we have Allen Ginsberg, the great poet, and he's also portrayed in Jack Kerouac's novel On the Road. He is the character known as Carlo Marx. Next to Allen, we have Carolyn Cassidy. And while Carolyn didn't produce any artistic works during the Beat Generation, she's certainly a major figure in that time period. Her relationships with Neal Cassady and Jack Kerouac and some of the other characters in the book make her a really important figure in the Beat Generation. Next to Carolyn, we have William S. Burroughs, novelist, most famous, I guess, for his hugely successful novel Naked Lunch, which has been called the cut and paste classic. And I guess people will be reading that book from now on. And they'll also be reading the book of our man next to him, Jack Kerouac, who wrote On the Road. That was his second novel. And that book pretty much defined the Beat Generation and the Beat protagonist for all of us for forever. And welcome, everyone. Thanks for coming on such short notice. Before we get started, anybody got anything to say, just to kick it off? And yes, I know. Jack, I knew when I said that you were going to have a problem with it, and I told you to get it, and I respect that, and yes, that's fine. All right, let's get started. We'll start with you, Jack. I mean, your first novel got good reviews by the important critics, The Town and the City, that book, and people considered a really good first novel. But then your second novel exploded pretty much the day it came out. And like I said, defined that whole era and that whole movement for so many people. And you became its face. But I don't get the feeling you like that fact. Why not? I get that. I can totally see that. Well, speaking of novels, Mr. Burroughs, your Naked Lunch, is it relevant today? Okay, that's a brave thing to say. Most people would say yes. You say not in the same way, and maybe not at all. Well, maybe that's true. I don't know. I guess that's up for the readers to decide, and you should certainly have a say so in that as well. Carolyn, let's be very honest. The women's movement since the 60s on has really beaten up Kerouac's novel for its portrayal of women, particularly you and Luann. And I guess Terry to some extent. What do you think about that? I mean, they describe you as some sort of adornment, some sort of secondary characters to the males. I agree. I think you're right on the money with that. And I'm going to go one step further. I don't know if there is an On the Road without those characters. I honestly believe that. Let's end this thing all the way over on the end with Allen Ginsberg. Allen, your poem, Howl, is considered one of the three great American poems of all time, along with T.S. Eliot's The Wasteland and Song of Myself by Walt Whitman. I mean, that's pretty heavy. That's pretty heavy stuff. What do you think of that? Yeah, what can you think of it? You're right. I mean, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that, but um, do you, well, let's take William's question about relevancy. Do you think it's still relevant today? You do. Well, I agree with you. I think it's even more so, and I think that your comments in that poem about the American uh, uh, military-industrial complex is definitely relevant to America today, all these decades later. Yeah. Um, I don't see any question. What do you think about the way that you were delineated in On the Road? Your character Carlo Marx. You don't think that was really you, because everybody else kind of does. What about you, Mr. Burroughs? Do you think Old Bull Lee? Yeah, Old Bull Lee is definitely you, no question. All right, let's wrap this up. Anybody got any closing remarks? I know it's super short, but we've got to get a whole new cast in here and do a whole new interview. Anybody got any closing remarks? I like the fact that Carolyn got in the last word. There's something there's a certain symmetry to that I like. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and look for us on Volume 4 of the Great Artist Series.